Whenever I learn a scale, doesn't matter what it is, but if I play this scale that many of you know, I have to be able to play that in all 12 keys. I tend to use the circle of fifths backwards or jazz forwards. So I go up a fourth to E flat and I play the same thing. With a metronome, I increase the metronome a couple bumps depending on how I feel. Then I play it in the next key in the circle, A flat, and the next key D flat, and G flat, and B, and E, and A, and D, and G, and C, and F, and then I'm back to B flat. And so I played it 12 times. I've increased the metronome. I'm working on my time, working on my alternate picking. That's still just one scale. There are so many different ways to play that scale. I tend to go with what's known as the caged system, a 5 different positions. Familiar? Many of you familiar? You know, so there, I don't necessarily call it this the E position as it would be called in the caged position, because there's an E chord, and if you put a bar and make it an F chord and make it a B flat chord, you can see that chord within this scale, and that's why it's called E, the E shape. You know, in the C shape, you can see if I play it in the same key, B flat, there's what looks like an open C chord. I don't call it that. I call this the root 6 chord. I call, then I have one that's called the root 5 chord. That would be the A shape in the caged system. I have one that's the root 4 chord, which would be called the D shape. There's a D that fits over the top of it. But I call it root 4 because it has a root on the 4th string. Now, the root 6 has a root on the 4th string also, and also has a root on the 1st string. So, somewhat arbitrary, but it's where this finger plays the root, okay? 6th string, this could also be called root 1. B flat, it's the middle finger, B flat, middle finger on the 4th string. Yeah, root 3, I might start on my 1st finger, but as I come back down, it's my 2nd finger that plays the 3rd string, what I call the root 3, which is out of a big G shape, you know. And then I'll play root 2, which most people would start here on the 5th string, the C shape, but I started on the 2nd string. The root 3 I could have started here. And most people start their scales on the 6th string. I try to start the scales on the 5 different shapes, and granted, if you're using like a Berkeley method, there are 7 different shapes, and there's differences, whereas the Berkeley method, you stretch your fingers so that all fits within one position. These caged, 3 of the 5 you have to shift, going up and going down 1 fret to a different position as you're coming down. I like that. It's a little more relaxed. But I can certainly play the 7 scale positions. I can play 3 note per scale, or 3 note per string scales, you know, which the shredders enjoy. There were obviously horizontal scales is something I'm again, it's a totally different clinic. Be able to play scales on 1 string as well, going back to the great Mick Goodrick book, The Advancing Guitarist. He talks about learning the guitar 1 string at a time and how that would make more sense, but he didn't learn it that way. It might make more sense, but there's something very satisfying about being able to sit down for 5 minutes and being able to play a song that has 3 out-of-tune chords. But you know, so no one's going to learn the guitar 1 string at a time, because you can't play music. Although I might call some 1-string ideas musical. Okay, so where wasn't I? So I've got the 5 positions. You know, I start them all on a different string. So when I'm playing this one, right, with the metronome, and I'm upping it, and then I go to E flat, A flat, D flat, right? So I play it in all 12 keys. I'm learning the notes on my 2nd string.